Hey guys, what's up? My name's Jen. I'm a former flight attendant turned travel agency owner of my very own travel agency, Pine to Palm Travel. Today we have a conspiracy theory to go through. I'm so excited. So apparently on this video has been going viral on TikTok. It is another passenger freaking out on an aircraft. Big surprise. A woman is freaking out and wants to get off a plane, I guess. I haven't seen the full video. There's a couple videos we're going to take a look at, but she says something that kind of has made TikTok blow up, and she's saying that this guy is not real or this man is not real that she was either like sitting next to or accusing someone of not being a real person. That has, of course, taken off, and the conspiracy theories are flying. I've been hearing this woman seeing an alien, a skinwalker, something paranormal. Like, it's just gone crazy, and you know how stuff like this goes on the internet. Let's take a look at the video. I also have some others reacting to it, and we're just gonna chat about it and see. I guess it's kind of like, did she really see something, or is she just drunk or under the influence of something? So I'll give you guys my opinion. Everything that we watch is going to be linked down below if you guys want to check it out. I don't want to say it's a coincidence or anything with the paranormal, but I've been having a lot of tech issues with this video, so. Okay, so the bell went off, called for a flight attendant. I'm not sure who, because we're looking at the back of a seat right now, but there's a flight attendant and a woman's kind of standing up.
Not going to.
I'm guessing that's her.
Not going to. Nope.
So they're arguing. The plane is obviously moving, which is not safe to be up.
Stop the fucking plane. Stop the fucking plane.
Okay.
Stop the plane.
She just punched this. What's she doing? Okay, so I don't know what her problem is. That's a good question. Okay, she's up.
Stop it. Stop it.
So at this point, the captain needs to be notified. I'm sure they're doing that. They need to get her seated because it's super dangerous for her to be upstanding. If they hit the brakes, she's going to go flying, along with the flight attendants.
I need to get the fuck off this plane.
It's like went from 0 to 20. Okay, she doesn't want to be sitting by that man.
A volunteer.
Man in question.
She might move into the middle seat. Can I get a volunteer to sit in the aisle seat? She just needs to sit down. She can't be up right now.
Okay, I really like what this flight attendant is doing. Although I think she maybe should be removed from the area that she's currently in. The flight attendant just took a volunteer to sit next to the person that she was sitting next to, take her seat, so then she can take this seat, which is a very fast fix to try and get her seated and get everyone seated for safety. So that was like great jumping into action. The only thing is if they could maybe move her to the front of the aircraft, but if they're just trying to get her seated quickly.
Get her fucking team after this. See what happens. See what happens after this. See what happens.
Where's your bag? Is your bag still over there?
See what the fuck happens after
She has a bag under her.
She's upset. It's very confusing though.
I don't even give a fuck about my shit. Sit there. Here.
Okay. The flight attendant's doing I'm impressed with this flight attendant. She's doing a really good job. Her voice is very calm. We can like barely hear it on the video. She's staying calm, talking to her. And so far, like nothing's escalating. So that's good. The woman is just clearly, it's almost to me is like similar to when I've seen people have like panic attacks on board and they just get up and they don't know what to do and need to calm down. That's kind of like the vibe I'm getting.
License verified, disarm door, stand by for all call.
It's Okay, so the aircraft has arrived back at the gate. Nothing is really like I'm kind of curious why there's so much controversy over this because nothing's really I mean, she's upset, but and then they're returning back to the gate, which is going to delay the whole flight, which, causes a whole snowball of issues. What the flight attendant on the announcement just said, they need to disarm the doors. The doors are armed, so if someone were to open the doors right now, the slides would blow out. They need flight attendants to unarm the doors before they can open up to get to the gate to, I'm guessing, get this woman off the plane. But it seems like they're doing well because you're supposed to, when there's a threat on board, you're supposed to balance out the aircraft. Seems like there was someone at the front, and then this flight attendant is dealing with the woman, and then I'm guessing that gentleman and someone, I think probably another one is at the back. So there might be 3 to 4 flight attendants on here. So, so far, it's going okay. I'm shocked that this is like blowing up all over TikTok. Okay, so another woman standing up. Oh, did she just say this is my brother? So is she saying like that's her brother that was sitting next to her? Interesting. Okay. Oh God, they're trying to figure out who's in the original seat and who is where. That's always a mess because everyone always moves around, trades.
So what we're gonna do is you said you were accusing somebody of taking your belongings.
She's still nice, calm voice.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That double bell you're hearing is them calling back and forth. So either the flight attendants are calling each other or they're calling and talking with the pilots. And then you can hear them like powering down the aircraft because they're at the gate. I don't know.
I'm a licensed attorney, so just be careful. I'm a licensed attorney.
Okay. Never good when another person gets involved.
We can do that.
I wish I could hear them better. Trying to listen.
Pull me down. I'm getting the fuck off. I'm getting the fuck off.
Okay.
Because I'm getting the fuck off. Because there is a stupid fucking dude on here. No.
Okay, then. You can hear them calling back and forth. I'm not gonna.
There's kids on here.
God. You guys know how I feel about like the rest of the passengers getting involved. It just never goes well. So she's yelling to get off the plane, making a scene at the front. Like overall though, like it's pretty calm on board, which is good. Like they just need to get her off. So I'm guessing it's an issue of the jet bridge, like getting to the aircraft to be able to open the door to get her off. I heard her say like he's not real, but she almost does sound under the influence of something. Like she's not speaking quite clear. She's obviously upset. So that could be maybe why, but I'm getting a feeling of like maybe she was drinking or maybe something got mixed with the drink, which does happen a lot on a flight. People will take the Xanax and then have some wine. They start acting crazy. I've seen some crazy things. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It just like out of nowhere, she stormed up after the attorney gal kind of was speaking to her. I don't get where people are getting that there's an alien or a skinwalker on board. I don't get it. I don't get it. I hate to say it, but like a typical freak out. I thought the flight attendants handled that pretty well, and then no one really got too involved, but you can see how it escalates and like tensions get higher when people do start getting involved and start chirping in, or like that other woman telling her she's a licensed attorney, so watch out. It just kind of always escalates. But let's watch it from this other angle and see if that changes our perspective, because this is the angle that a lot of people are reacting to it and watching it. So let's watch. The girl reacting to this is Jules Phoenix. I have it linked down below, but let's take a look at what she is saying.
Okay, so today I'm going to be discussing a video that I keep seeing floating around TikTok, which is this lady who is at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, and she gets up freaked out and claims to see something that is, quote, not real. But when I see the titles in the videos, people are claiming that she saw a skinwalker, or she saw something paranormal, or she saw a reptilian, or she saw somebody's eyes glitching out. And to be honest with you, while it's fun to like think about conspiracies and stuff like that, and
it's so fun to think about conspiracies and stuff like that. I am a fan.
Sometimes, the veil is thin and we do see paranormal things, but more often than not, it's something that's, just pretty boring, vanilla, and it's just something that happens by chance. So I've seen videos going from saying that the lady was drunk and she accused this man beside her of stealing one of her AirPods, probably dropped it in the airport, or it's probably floating under the seat somewhere.
I'm telling you guys, once those AirPods drop, they're gone. The seats just have this way of absorbing the AirPods and you cannot find them. It's the most annoying thing ever. Get those little things that you can put on them. If it falls, then it's still like hanging around your neck just for the aircraft, because I can't tell you how many times people lose these. If this is over a potentially stolen AirPod, okay, now this other lady here, a more accurate depiction of what may have happened in her opinion. Was this woman maybe on board?
Okay, so for everybody who has seen the viral video of the crazy lady that got kicked off the American Airlines flight yesterday going from DFW to Orlando, I just kind of wanted to clear up some things because there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions. So we all boarded the plane. We were on time. Everything was going fine. There was no issues. This woman boarded the plane. We actually took off, like we left the terminal, and we were pulling out onto the runway, fixing to take off. And all of a sudden,
take off.
So this lady had been drinking prior to getting on the plane, evidently. Some people said they seen her at the bar next to the terminal.
This is all
anyway,
people talking.
So she was sitting in her seat, and I guess she had a pair of AirPods, and they said she had them in her hand, and then within seconds, we don't know if she pocketed them or where she put them. She misplaced them somehow, and she started yelling at the guy next to her, who of course is African American, and saying that he stole her AirPods. And so she started screaming, "Stop the plane, stop the plane." I went off the plane, and so the plane turned around. We hadn't left the ground yet. Anyways, the plane turned around, went back to the terminal. They that's when that video was shot, was on the way back to the terminal. She was, screaming that we were all gonna die.
I didn't hear her say that, but maybe she did. I can't
say I didn't question once or twice whether or not I wanted to even stay on the plane, but they ended up escorting.
That's the thing. If someone's like starting to yell that we're all gonna die on an airplane, that's where the flight attendant's being very calm in the situation and trying to de-escalate and get the source of the chaos out and off, because that just spreads like wildfire and then no one wants to get on the flight. It can turn out really bad, and like one person freaking out, then the next person freaks out. There's a name for it. There's an actual, like we learned in training, that there's an actual phenomenon that occurs if someone's freaking out and then it just like escalates. You can see that was kind of happening there. I really think that the flight attendants handled it pretty well. It ended pretty quickly. Again, I'm really shocked at this video. I was like really excited to maybe see like a little glimpse of an alien or something, like the way people are freaking out about this, but really typical kind of freak out on an airplane. I'm not gonna lie, actually pretty tame.
Her off of the plane. Then we waited on the plane probably about 45 minutes, and then they wanted us to get off the
45.
plane, and we had to take all of our stuff off of the plane because of all the comments that this woman was making about us dying. And so we all got off the plane.
Interesting.
And
So maybe there were other passengers that were more upset or like concerned. I didn't hear her making threats like that though. It was hard to hear. So, or maybe before the video started playing. That's very odd. It sounded like they did a security sweep then. So that means all passengers need to grab all items and get off the aircraft. They do a security sweep and then everyone can get back on board again. But that does take a while.
They had not arrested her at this point because while we're sitting there waiting for them to sweep the plane, make sure that there's nothing wrong with the plane, they also had to take off all of the luggage from underneath the plane, go through it, take the lady's luggage off. While all this is going on, this lady actually came back walking towards the terminal like she was still going to get on the plane. And a lady was blocking her way from going over there. And then another guy came and they got her and they led her away. And then they announced that, of course, everybody was clapping and cheering that she did not get let back over there. And then they let.
So she really thought she was going to get back on the plane then after that? This is such a weird situation. I don't understand.
At the, I guess the 3 flight attendants that were originally on the plane that were dealing with this lady, they said due to the circumstances that they had to get off the plane, and so they had to have 3 more flight attendants come in, so we ended up delayed about 4 hours coming into Orlando. But
that I would really like to hear some other flight attendants' opinions about that. It's kind of funny. Only because that seems so to claim like they were emotionally distraught. Here's what could have happened. Actually, my mind went to first like them saying that they had to get off the plane because of how that was handled and probably like emotionally distraught and they had to not fly or whatever. What I'm guessing actually happened is it took so long that these flight attendants actually timed out and they were like, okay, we're timed out, we're leaving, not dealing with it anymore. Don't blame them at all for that. And then bounced. So they had to bring in 3 more flight attendants. That is the more realistic thing. But it'd be very interesting to know if they claimed that they were not mentally ready to handle the flight after that. Just because I've seen some crazy stuff and then you just kind of like brush it off and then keep going. I've been screamed at even like personally harder than that. People getting in my face and then you just kind of move on once the situation's dealt with. But I'm guessing they timed out. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They timed out and then bounced. But if they were given the choice, get off the flight and either go home or go back to the hotel, don't blame them at all.
And I've heard a lot of questions, people wondering who she was saying didn't exist. The person she was saying did not exist was the flight attendant who originally was dealing with the complaint whenever she started yelling and screaming about the guy supposedly stealing her AirPod.
The flight attendant.
There's one account where this man claims that he saw the interaction between the other passenger beside her, saying that, she was sitting there having an interaction with him, but she seemed to be in a trance. He wasn't responding back to her. And that's when she got up and stormed off, claiming that the passenger beside her wasn't real.
This is like building and building, making it more clear why these theories are coming out of it. She was in a trance. He wasn't responding. That's odd. This is just getting out of control now. We have too much time on our hands.
I'm going to try. I've tried like 2 times to record this, but I keep going over the 3-minute limit and I don't want to do a part 1, part 2 type thing. So I'm going to try to be specific. I was on that flight. It was American Airlines. We were leaving.
Everyone's
Dallas,
hopping
Fort
to get
Worth.
like TikTok famous.
I was sitting in the left aisle, about 3 rows back from this woman. She was sitting in the right aisle, and she had this very interesting exchange with some dude in a hoodie. I don't remember the color of the hoodie. I really, you know how memory is. When you're not super paying attention, you don't remember all the details. I had one headphone in, couldn't hear all the specifics of what happened, but
3 rows back is kind of far back. That's how far we were almost, but at the window on that video. He also had one headphone in. Oh my God. Okay, this gets better.
I noticed this exchange between this woman and this dude in a hoodie. And it was kind of weird at the time because it seemed like no one else before she really started getting frantic, like was paying attention to this, but that makes sense. It was like a normal flight. This was after putting all the luggage away. We'd been on the plane for a little bit. It was before the flight attendant came over and gave the little spiel. And what I remember is she was having like a full-blown conversation with this dude in the hoodie. I'll call him the hoodie guy. She was having a full-blown conversation with hoodie guy. The weird thing was that he never once said a fucking word to her the whole time. And at the time, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking about it. But it was like it's like she would say something and he like would respond, but there was no exchange happening. It was just her getting more and more frantic, which, okay, if she's...
What is he talking about? Am I in the Twilight Zone right now? Get me out of here. What is this? This is where the stories came from, is this guy right here. This is the guy behind all of this. What is he talking about? He's 3 rows back, has a headphone in, but recounting this perfectly. I don't
drunk
know.
And she's going crazy, then you would think the dude in the hoodie would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? But he was just like dead locked on her.
That's probably what he's doing, just ignoring her and just minding his own business, like a lot of people usually do when someone's being crazy.
Like deep eye contact with her, like I don't want to feed into the conspiracies here, but like almost like she was like in a hypnosis type of thing. Right. And she started getting more and more frantic to the point where then people started kind of noticing. Flight attendant came over, tried to calm her down, like, what's going on? She sat back down, but she kept looking over at this dude in the hoodie, and finally she was like done with it. And that's like when I really started paying attention, like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And that's when she was like, I can't do this. She started getting up, she started walking up to the front, and then the whole video thing happened. I didn't take a video of it. I was listening to a Stephen King audiobook. I wasn't like pulling out my phone to record this. And she didn't seem drunk to me, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I didn't see her drink. I mean, she seemed totally normal to me up until that point.
You didn't see her drink. You can't be drinking when you're boarding a plane. You can't have a drink in your hand. Once you board the plane, maybe first class sometimes, but so that doesn't even make sense. Of course she's not drinking. She did sound to me, her speech was off. Like I said, she was upset. So this guy, I don't want to feed in the conspiracies. Come on. Believe me when I say that I'm the first person that wants to believe this dude is an alien or something and she saw something crazy, but I'm kind of disappointed. This is just people being nuts and feeding into it.
The weird thing was, after she left the plane, the dude in the hoodie, which the flight attendant was like, did anything happen? And he still didn't say a word. He just went like, and like shrugged. The dude in the hoodie like looked around the plane and he looked back at me. And he winked at me.
What?
And again, I didn't quite register it. I was like, okay, what the fuck was that about? I was like, maybe he's just being like an ass, like winking. Like, that was weird, wasn't it? But now that I look back, I realized that when he winked at me, and it was his left eye looking back at me, it didn't wink like this. It winked like this.
What? It wasn't the actual incident. It's all these other people talking that are building this. I see like the whole picture now and what's going on. I can almost picture the guy he's talking about too. I've seen that behavior of just zoned out, not wanting to be a part of it, like not trying to cause trouble. I don't believe him. I'm sorry.
Nobody really knows what's going on. It could be that she's going through some type of psychosis. It could be that she's been mixing anxiety medicine and drinking alcohol, because I've seen stuff like that happen, and it makes people hallucinate a little bit sometimes. Some weird things happen when you mix things you're not supposed to be mixing. Let's just be honest. Nobody's heard from the lady. Could be the fact that
nobody's heard from her.
She could simply be having a panic attack for all we know.
That's what I said.
We don't know.
She seemed like she was having anxiety.
So I would love to hear from the lady though, but there's been so many weird theories out there.
The lady's probably trying to avoid lawsuits, because what happens when you delay a flight like this, the airline could go after you for money. There could be criminal charges. Like it's a big deal. So I'm not surprised that she hasn't come out and said anything. She could be embarrassed as well that this is like blown up so much and her face is everywhere. But it'll be interesting to see if a statement from her does get released.
To me, I wish it was a conspiracy theory. Some people are claiming that, it's the government. They put a shapeshifter, a skinwalker on the plane. It's just a whole bunch of weird stuff.
This is a new video made by another passenger who was on the flight the woman on the plane was on, who became distraught when she realized she was supposedly sitting next to a shapeshifter.
Hey, stop the fucking plane. Stop the plane!
Movements are kind of weird, but again, panicky, like anxiety attack. The music. It's so weird. She seems scared. Like, she seems genuinely... If you guys literally were sitting next to an alien or some reptilian creature on an aircraft and that happened, would you be acting like she did? I don't think. I think you'd be a lot more desperate to get off and freaked out, and you would say something. about what you're seeing, show other people this person and what you're seeing. I think people are wanting this to be something, and it's just not it. It's just not it.
After this new footage of the woman on the plane who claims to have seen a shapeshifter, some people close to the woman claim that the passenger sitting next to
Are we
her
really
blinked her
taking this
eyes
seriously?
differently.
Are we?
The people heard claim that
No, this is not. We're gonna put an end to this. This is just a case of people talking and making something out of nothing. And to me, this seemed like a very typical interaction of someone having a panic attack, freaking out, who maybe had been drinking or mixed drinking with medication and needed to get off the flight. And I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping we have some more than that. What do you guys think? You saw the videos with me. Please let me know down in the comments below. I'm super curious. Also, if you know any other videos that we should react to, let me know. These are super fun for me to watch. I think we just have a typical passenger freakout. I don't think there's anything paranormal here, unfortunately. I do have stories of ghosts on planes, so maybe I'll share those with you sometime. Sorry we didn't see any aliens or reptilians, but I will see you in the next video. Bye!